Hi there, Mickey Mankus here with Out the Back Door. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own laundry soap and you can save a lot of money. So join me. So today I'm going to show you how to make a powdered laundry detergent. And this is a very low suds. In fact, I barely see any suds at all. So it works very well in high efficiency washing machines. I don't have a front loader, I have a top loader, but it is high efficiency and this is all that I use in there. What the recipe is you're going to use 1/2 cup of borax, 1 cup of Arm & Hammer washing soda, not baking soda, and a bar of Fell's Naphtha soap or Zote soap. Zote comes in bars also, but this little one that's already in flakes equals 2 bars of soap. So if you're only going to make a single batch, you only need to use half of this if you choose to use the flakes. What we normally would do is use a grater and grate up our bar of soap. We're not going to do that. I'm going to show you an easier trick. Okay, as I mentioned, generally a person will use a grater of some type in order to grate their bar of soap into smaller flakes and such. And actually it's very time consuming. And so what I learned to do is I will cut my soap into chunks. This is grating apart already. But I'm going to use a blender. By using a blender, I get a much finer powder, and I'm actually going to mix the washing soda and the borax in there also after I get this ground up first. That way it'll incorporate really well. And I usually do a large enough batch where I fill almost a 5-gallon bucket up, and that soap lasts me for at least a year. The one nice thing about the borax, actually it helps soften water, especially living out in the country and we've got well water, so it is quite a bit harder. This does get a little bit dusty, so I don't know, maybe you want to do this out in the garage. All right, I'm gonna let the dust settle down a little bit that's in there, all the soap dust. Actually, the borax, the washing soda, the Fell's Naphtha, or the Zote, you can find it in any cleaning supply aisle or section in most any store. I had already pre-measured out prior little baggie. I used to do single batches at a time, so I had a bunch of baggies measured out already, and I'm going to dump that into here with the 1 bar of soap and then whip it up together again, blend it so that it's very well incorporated. You can kind of see what I was talking about. You wipe it up with a wet cloth, you're really going to get a good cleaning. All right, let's mix this up some more. I'm looking through in the blender here and I can see there's just a few spots where there's a little bit larger pieces of the Fell's Naphtha soap, and that's why I'm going to keep pulsing it until I don't see it any longer. And that way I do ensure that everything's mixed well together. The Zote flakes I'm sure would mix up quite fast. Those are white. Normally the bars of Zote soap that I've seen in the store, you can get white or pink. At the time that I picked this up, the only thing that they had at the time were flakes. That looks good. This is a recycled container that I used to have my raw honey in. And I just keep my laundry soap in here now. I do have a small amount left. This is it though. That's why I needed to make laundry soap right now, because I don't want to run out in the middle of doing laundry. See this ice scoop I have here? I believe I pulled this out of maybe like a Tang or a Kool-Aid container. And this is all I need for a regular size load of clothes. And your clothes come out clean and fresh. My husband works in a dirty area and it works. This is pennies a load compared to your name brand laundry detergents and such. And I used to do liquid, and now I decided to do powder only. I found that the powder is dissolving very well in cool water that I use most of the time. And when you're making the liquid, what was happening is you would actually melt down your bar of soap in water. There is a recipe. You can research this online. There's many different places that show you how to make liquid laundry soap. And then you are going to mix in the soda and the borax to that. Then you're adding a large amount of water. Well, you mix this up really good and then let it sit for about 12 hours or such. Well, then after you do that, I've taken the cover off and it's like real gelatinous on top. And then you've got to use like a drill and mix it up really good and everything. Well, that's fine and dandy, and I was putting it in 5-gallon buckets, but that was getting way too heavy for me to tote around. Also, it was inconvenient trying to pry off one of the 5-gallon bucket tops all the time. You know, I had to have one of them special openers. And within a couple of weeks, I'd have to mix the liquid up again. And it didn't matter if I was pouring it in a smaller container or whatever, you had to shake it up really well before you used it. And I thought, well, I'm going to give it a try and do the powder and see how it works. I just did a single batch. And it worked well. It dissolved in. I go and I put a scoop of this into my washing machine before I even start putting water in. Turn the water on, and I let it fill up just a tiny bit, and then I throw my clothes in, and that's it. One thing I like about this, there's no scent to it. So if you're sensitive to smells and such, there's no scenting in there. One thing my husband likes about it is I do his hunting. Well, actually, I do both of our hunting clothes in here because he wants scent-free. So instead of spending money on all these expensive name brand hunting laundry detergents, I just use the homemade stuff. Anyway, let's get this in here so I can get down and do some laundry. Okay, look at the wonderful fine powder that we have in there for laundry soap. The blender is my quick tip as far as getting that bar of soap all ground up and everything into a finer powder and mixing everything together to incorporate it. So, that's all there is to it. Okay, so I just want to share with you. I just got done. I did all of mine out in the garage, and I did 10 batches. And the reason I went out there is because it did cause a big dust storm of soap. And I learned a new tip, and I wanted to share it with you. Yes, the blender works wonderful, but I found out if you put the half a cup of borax in first, and then you put your little chunks of bar soap in next, and then put the washing soda on top of it, I pulsed it. That's all I ever did, was I pulsed it the whole time because I didn't want to burn my blender out. But it maybe took 20 seconds and the whole thing was such a fine powder and incorporated so well. It was like, wow, I learned something new today. I wanted to share that with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and share. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'd really like to hear from you. You have a wonderful day. God bless.